Singapore may look like one of the easiest countries to live in. Clean streets, safe neighborhoods, modern buildings, and a lifestyle that feels very organized. But behind that perfect image, life here can be surprisingly strict and expensive. From tough laws and high living costs, to single women busy work culture and car prices that sound almost unreal. Singapore is not as simple as it looks. Today, we'll explore real life in Singapore, a small, rich, and powerful country with rules and surprises most people don't expect. Number 1. The richest city without resources. What if I told you there's a country where people willingly drink recycled wastewater, where owning a normal car can cost more than a luxury home in some American towns, and where so many highly educated women are delaying marriage that the country now has one of the lowest birth rates on Earth? At first glance, those facts sound completely unrelated, but they all come from the same tiny island nation, Singapore. Singapore might be the most successful country that had absolutely no reason to succeed. When it was forced out of Malaysia in 1965, many experts believed the new nation would struggle to survive. It had no oil, almost no farmland, very limited fresh water, no valuable minerals, and a land area smaller than New York City. At the time, nearly 70% of the population lived in poverty. Large parts of the island were covered in slums, unemployment was high, and the government had very little money. Even Singapore's founding leader Lee Kuan Yew openly worried about whether the country could survive on its own. Instead of relying on natural resources, Singapore made a different bet. The government invited foreign companies to invest, offered generous tax incentives, built factories before investors even arrived, expanded its port, and focused heavily on education. The goal was simple: if the country could not sell oil, it would sell efficiency, stability, and talent. The gamble worked better than almost anyone expected. Within a single generation, Singapore transformed from a poor, developing nation into one of the richest economies on Earth. Today, GDP per person is close to $99,000, placing it among the wealthiest countries in the world and the richest in Asia. The numbers get even crazier. Around 1 in every 15 adults is a dollar millionaire. That's more than 240,000 millionaires living on an island with roughly 6 million people. More than 37,000 international companies have established regional headquarters here, turning Singapore into one of the most important business hubs on the planet. Its port became one of the busiest container ports in the world, while its financial district grew into a global center that competes with places like New York City, London, and Hong Kong. Besides, this country imports most of its food, produces much of its drinking water through advanced recycling and desalination systems, and has even increased its land area by reclaiming territory from the sea. While many nations became rich because of what they found underground, Singapore became rich almost entirely because of what its people built above ground. That's amazing. They're so talented, aren't they? If you agree, comment with a 1. Number 2. The women who changed Singapore. In many countries, women fought for generations just to gain equal opportunities. In Singapore, that change happened at incredible speed. Singaporean women are among the most educated in the world. Today, nearly 50% of women over the age of 15 hold a university degree. Singapore sits at the crossroads of Chinese, Indian, Malay, and Western cultures, medicine, and multinational corporations across the country. Singapore's population is mainly Chinese, Malay, and Indian, creating a unique blend of appearances and styles. Most women have dark hair, brown eyes, and light to medium skin tones. On the streets, you might see elegant business suits, fashionable Korean-inspired outfits, traditional Malay dresses, or colorful Indian saris, all within the same city block. One of the best examples of this transformation is Halima Yaacob, Singapore's first female president. She grew up in a poor working-class family and was raised by a widowed mother who sold food to support the household. Decades later, she became the country's first woman head of state. The success of Singaporean women comes with an interesting twist. Despite being highly educated and financially independent, Singapore now has one of the world's lowest birth rates. Many women choose to focus on careers, personal goals, or delay marriage because life in one of the world's most competitive cities can be incredibly demanding. Therefore, if you want to win over a Singaporean woman, you need to have confidence and competence equal to or greater than theirs. And when the sun goes down, you'll notice another difference. Singapore's nightlife is surprisingly safe. In places like Marina Bay and Clarke Quay, women often enjoy late-night dining rooftop bars and waterfront walks with a level of security that many major cities around the world simply can't match. Number 3. The most expensive cars on Earth. If you think cars are expensive where you live, Singapore will completely change your definition of expensive. In most countries, if you have enough money, you can simply walk into a dealership and buy a car. In Singapore, you first have to buy permission from the government. That permission comes in the form of a Certificate of Entitlement, or COE, which allows you to own a vehicle for 10 years. The crazy part. In 2025, a COE for a larger car reached a record price of around $141,000. That's before you've bought a single tire, a drop of gasoline, or even the car itself. Yeah, $141,000 is enough to buy a luxury vehicle in many parts of America. In Singapore, that amount might only get you the paperwork. Once taxes, registration fees, and the vehicle price are added, an ordinary family sedan that might cost $30,000 in the United States can easily cost $120,000 to $180,000 in Singapore. Some luxury models can exceed $300,000, while exotic supercars regularly sell for well over $1 million. The reason is simple. Singapore is a tiny island of only about 280 square miles. If everyone owned a car, the entire country would become one giant traffic jam. Instead of building endless highways, the government chose a different solution: make car ownership a luxury. As a result, most people rely on Singapore's world-class public transportation system. The subway network, known as the MRT, reaches almost every part of the island, while buses run with remarkable efficiency. That's why you can walk through Singapore's financial district and see plenty of millionaires taking the train alongside office workers and students. Number 4. The world's strangest laws. Singapore is famous for having some of the strictest and strangest laws on Earth. Some of them sound like internet myths, but they're absolutely real. Let's start with the most famous one: chewing gum. Selling or importing it is heavily restricted. The ban began in 1992 after people repeatedly stuck gum onto train doors and sensors, causing costly disruptions across the transit system. If you get thirsty while riding the subway, be careful. Eating or drinking on Singapore's trains can result in fines of up to $500. The government wants public transportation to stay spotless, and they're serious about enforcing it. Things get even stranger in public restrooms. Forgetting to flush a public toilet can lead to a fine of around $150. It sounds ridiculous until you realize Singapore consistently ranks among the cleanest countries in the world. Then there's vaping. While many countries allow electronic cigarettes, Singapore has chosen the opposite approach. E-cigarettes and vaping products are completely banned. Bringing one into the country, selling one, or using one can lead to heavy penalties. Drug laws are even tougher. Singapore has some of the harshest anti-drug policies anywhere on Earth. Trafficking certain amounts of illegal drugs can carry the death penalty, making it one of the few developed countries that still imposes capital punishment for drug trafficking. And then there's perhaps the weirdest law-related invention of all. Some public housing elevators have actually been equipped with urine detection sensors. If someone urinates inside the elevator, the system can trigger an alarm, lock the elevator, and alert authorities. The technology was introduced after repeated vandalism in residential buildings. So does your country have any strange laws? Please leave your comments below. Number 5. The fastest walkers on Earth. Singaporeans don't just live fast, they literally walk faster than almost everyone else on the planet. A famous international study found that people in Singapore covered 60 feet in just over 10 seconds. If you visit the city, you'll notice it immediately. People move with purpose. Office workers rush between skyscrapers. Students weave through train stations, and commuters power walk through underground tunnels as if everyone is late for something. The reason starts with transportation. Cars are so expensive that most people rely on trains, buses, and their own feet. Singapore built thousands of covered walkways connecting neighborhoods, train stations, shopping centers, and bus stops, allowing people to walk comfortably, even in tropical heat and heavy rain. Many residents naturally accumulate 10,000 to 20,000 steps a day without even thinking about it. That walking culture has produced an unexpected result. Singapore now has one of the highest life expectancies on Earth at around 84.3 years, ranking behind only a handful of countries. Longevity researcher Dan Buettner, famous for studying the world's blue zones, even called Singapore a Blue Zone 2.0. Singaporeans even have a famous word for their competitive mindset, kiasu, which roughly means afraid of losing or afraid of falling behind. Whether it's schoolwork, business, or simply catching the next train, many people feel pressure to stay one step ahead. Number 6. The food capital of Asia. If there is one thing Singapore takes as seriously as money, it's food. Despite being a tiny island, many chefs consider Singapore one of the greatest food capitals on Earth. The reason is simple. Singapore sits at the crossroads of Chinese, Indian, Malay, and Western cultures, creating a food scene unlike anywhere else in Asia. In a single day, you can eat Chinese noodles for breakfast, Indian curry for lunch, Malay satay for dinner, and finish with Western desserts before midnight. Even more surprising is the price. In one of the world's most expensive cities, you can still enjoy an excellent meal for just $4 to $8 at a hawker center. These giant open-air food halls are so important to local culture that Singapore's hawker tradition was added to UNESCO's Cultural Heritage List. The country also became famous for Hawker Chan, the first street food stall in the world to receive a Michelin star. At one point, people could eat Michelin-recognized chicken rice for about $2, making it one of the cheapest Michelin meals ever sold. But some of Singapore's most famous foods are also its strangest. The king of them all is chili crab, a massive mud crab covered in a thick, sweet, spicy, tomato-based sauce. It is so famous that many tourists visit Singapore specifically to try it. Then there is durian, the world's most controversial fruit. Its smell is so powerful that it is banned from many hotels, trains, and public buildings. Yet locals love it so much that entire durian festivals are held every year. Another unusual dish is fish head curry, which combines Indian curry spices with a whole fish head. It was originally created to satisfy both Chinese and Indian communities, and eventually became one of Singapore's signature dishes. If that sounds normal, Singapore also serves frog porridge, a dish that has remained popular for decades. Despite the name, the frog is usually cooked separately in a clay pot with soy sauce, while the porridge is served alongside it. For breakfast, millions of locals start their day with kaya toast toasted bread filled with coconut jam and butter, usually served with soft-boiled eggs and coffee. And the food adventure doesn't stop there. You can also find laksa, a spicy coconut noodle soup, Hainanese chicken rice, often called Singapore's unofficial national dish, and sauté grilled meat skewers served with peanut sauce. Number 7. The Lion City without lions. Most countries choose national animals that actually live there. The United States has the bald eagle. Australia has the kangaroo. China is famous for the giant panda. But Singapore may have the strangest animal story of them all. The country's name literally means Lion City. According to legend, a prince arriving on the island centuries ago spotted a mysterious beast and believed it was a lion. Inspired by the sight, he named the place Singapore, combining the Sanskrit words Singa, meaning lion, and Pura, meaning city. The funny part, lions have never lived in Singapore. Historians and wildlife experts believe the animal was probably a tiger, since tigers once roamed parts of Southeast Asia, while lions never did. Yet that centuries-old mistake survived and eventually became one of the most famous national identities in the world. Today, you can see lions everywhere across Singapore. They appear in government symbols, sports teams, tourism campaigns, and countless company logos. The country's most famous landmark is the merlion, a mythical creature with the head of a lion and the body of a fish. The fish represents Singapore's origins as a humble fishing village, while the lion represents the legendary animal that likely never existed on the island. Number 8. The country of cameras. In many countries, security cameras are something you notice occasionally. In Singapore, they are almost everywhere. Today, the country operates around 90,000 public surveillance cameras, and authorities plan to expand that number to more than 200,000 cameras by 2030. Cameras are installed on housing blocks, parking lots, street corners, elevators, transportation hubs, and even lampposts. For a nation of about 6 million people, that creates one of the most heavily monitored urban environments on Earth. The government argues that the system works. Since the nationwide camera network began expanding, thousands of crimes have been solved with the help of video evidence. The result is a country with some of the lowest crime rates in the world. For many locals, the trade-off is worth it. It is common to see people leave laptops unattended in cafes, reserve tables, with nothing more than a packet of tissues, or walk alone late at night without feeling unsafe. In some years, Singapore has even recorded long stretches of time without a single reported robbery in certain categories. Of course, not everyone loves the idea. Critics argue that such extensive surveillance comes at the cost of personal privacy. But Singapore has largely made its choice. The country decided that safety order and security matter more than anonymity. Number 9. The most colorful festivals in Asia. One of the most spectacular celebrations is Deepavali, also known as the Festival of Lights. Held every year around October or November in Little India, the festival celebrates the victory of light over darkness and good over evil in Hindu tradition. Weeks before the event, entire streets are covered with giant arches, colorful light displays, and flower decorations. Another fascinating celebration is Pongal, the traditional harvest festival of the Tamil community. Taking place every January around Campbell Lane in Little India, the festival is a Thanksgiving ceremony for a successful harvest. Families cook a sweet rice dish called pongal in clay pots, and when the rice boils over, it symbolizes prosperity for the coming year. The festival also features cattle blessings, cultural dances, music performances, and even large public cooking competitions where hundreds of people prepare pongal together. For Singapore's Muslim community, one of the most important events is Hari Raya Haji, celebrated about 70 days after Ramadan. The center of the festivities is usually Kampong Glam and Geylang Serai. The festival commemorates the willingness of the Prophet Ibrahim to sacrifice his son as an act of faith. Special prayers are held in mosques before livestock are sacrificed, with much of the meat distributed to families in need. Beyond the religious ceremonies, the holiday becomes a time for family reunions, community gatherings, and charitable giving. Singapore also hosts one of Asia's most beautiful mid-autumn festivals. Every September, Chinatown is filled with giant lantern displays, illuminated dragons, glowing palaces, and thousands of colorful lights. The festival originates from ancient Chinese traditions and is closely linked to mooncakes and stories of the moon goddess. During the celebration, children carry lanterns through the streets, while lion dances, stage performances, and cultural exhibitions attract huge crowds. For Buddhists, Vesak Day is among the most sacred days of the year. Celebrated on the full moon of the fourth lunar month, it commemorates the birth, enlightenment, and passing of Gautama Buddha. The heart of the celebration is often the famous Buddha Tooth Relic Temple, where thousands gather for prayers, chanting ceremonies, vegetarian meals, candle offerings, and acts of charity. Many worshippers also participate in animal release ceremonies and community service activities, emphasizing compassion and kindness. If you visit during the festival season, congratulations! You'll get to experience the fun. Number 10. The world's most powerful passport. For most people, a passport is just a travel document. In Singapore, it is one of the most valuable things you can own. According to the latest global rankings, the Singapore passport is regularly ranked as the most powerful passport on Earth. It gives Singaporeans visa-free or visa-on-arrival access to around 193 destinations worldwide, more than almost any other nationality. To put that into perspective, a Singaporean can travel to nearly all of Europe, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Canada, and dozens of other countries without applying for a traditional visa beforehand. In many cases, booking a flight is harder than getting permission to enter the country. What makes this achievement even more impressive is the competition. Countries famous for powerful passports such as Japan, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain usually rank just behind Singapore, often with access to around 190 to 192 destinations. Meanwhile, citizens of many developing nations may have access to fewer than 80 countries, while some of the world's weakest passports allow entry to fewer than 40 destinations without a visa. The difference is enormous. A Singaporean traveler can visit nearly 5 times as many countries without visa restrictions as someone holding one of the world's weakest passports. For frequent travelers, business executives, and entrepreneurs, that level of freedom is incredibly valuable. It means less paperwork, fewer visa fees, fewer embassy visits, and far greater flexibility when planning international trips. Number 11. The country that drinks wastewater and builds land from sand. Most countries rely on rivers, lakes, or underground water. Singapore has almost none of those advantages. If you visit Singapore, there is a good chance that some of the water you drink once flowed through a sink shower or washing machine. That sounds shocking, but it is completely true. One of Singapore's most remarkable inventions is NeWater, a system that transforms treated wastewater into ultra-clean drinking water. The water passes through multiple layers of purification, including advanced filtration, reverse osmosis, and ultraviolet disinfection. The final product is so pure that it often exceeds international drinking water standards. Today, NeWater provides up to 40% of Singapore's water supply, helping reduce dependence on imported water and making the country far more self-sufficient than it was in the past. But water is only half the story. Singapore is also one of the few countries on Earth that has physically made itself larger. Since independence in 1965, the island has expanded its land area by roughly 25% through massive land reclamation projects. Instead of accepting its limited size, Singapore imported enormous quantities of sand from neighboring countries and poured it into the sea to create entirely new land. Airports, container ports, industrial districts, residential neighborhoods, and even famous attractions now stand on ground that did not exist a few decades ago. It's true that with human intervention, anything can be accomplished. Number 12. The Formula One night race. Most Formula One races take place during the day. Singapore decided to do something nobody had ever done before. In 2008, Singapore became the first country in history to host a Formula One night race, turning the heart of the city into a glowing, high-speed racetrack. As darkness falls, thousands of floodlights illuminate the circuit, making the cars look like rockets blasting through the skyline. What makes the event even more unusual is its location. Instead of being held at a purpose-built racing facility, the race takes place on the Marina Bay Street circuit, where ordinary downtown roads are temporarily closed and transformed into a Formula One track. For a few days each year, streets normally filled with commuters become a battlefield for the fastest drivers in the world. The race quickly became one of the most famous events on the F1 calendar. Drivers often describe it as one of the toughest races of the season because of the intense heat, humidity, and long nighttime conditions. Some drivers can lose several pounds of body weight during a single race. Number 13. The shockingly expensive cost of living. Singapore may be one of the safest and wealthiest places on Earth, but it is also one of the most expensive. If you want to rent a modern one-bedroom apartment near the city center, expect to pay around $2,500 to $4,000 per month. Larger apartments in prime locations can easily exceed $5,000 per month. Buying property is even more shocking. A private condominium often costs well over $1 million, while some public housing apartments have been resold for more than $1 million, despite originally being designed as affordable housing. Transportation creates another surprise. Because of the country's strict vehicle ownership system, a basic family car can cost 3 to 4 times more than the same model in the United States. Before you even buy the car, you may need a government ownership certificate costing over $100,000. The good news is that daily transportation remains affordable. A tourist can use buses and trains all day for only a few dollars, which is why most residents rely on public transit instead of driving. Food is where Singapore becomes unusual. In one of the world's most expensive cities, you can still enjoy excellent meals at famous hawker centers for only $4 to $8. It is completely normal to see office workers, millionaires, tourists, and students all eating at the same food stalls. For visitors, a reasonable travel budget is around $90 to $120 per day, while luxury travelers can easily spend several $100s daily on hotel shopping and entertainment. If you've enjoyed discovering these incredible facts about Singapore, give the video a like and let us know which one surprised you the most. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing places, unusual cultures, and fascinating stories from around the world. See you in the next adventure.